name is Matt Dinerman. I'm the track announcer at Monmouth Park and also at Oaklawn Park. It's Haskell Day 2024. A great day, a lot of people here. The energy is vibrant, you can feel it. People are packing into the grandstands. Great races, so it's going to be a lot of fun today.
And today is going to be your first Haskell call, correct?
My first Haskell call today, yes. So I've done a lot of new things this year. Gone to a couple new racetracks, called the Arkansas Derby for the first time, the Apple Blossom, and now I get a chance to call the Haskell. So very excited, a very prestigious race, and a lot of really good announcers have called this race too. So I'm looking forward to it.
What does it mean to you being part of that tradition of great announcers that have called a big race like this?
When you get hired to call a race like the Haskell and work at a racetrack like Monmouth, it just feels like an honor because guys that have occupied this booth have been very solid at their job, to say the least. That's an understatement. They're very successful, and to be called upon to call a prestigious race like the Haskell, it feels like an honor for sure, and you just want to do a good job. The key is just making sure you put a good effort into it and you make the race fun. Get back, Goldie. Tyler Rendell looking for 2 wins on the turf today. Number 11, scratch. 12, organization. Jorge Ruiz has the assignment. Number 13 is scratched, and number 14 is just in time for wine. Fernando Hara. 4 minutes until race 3, 4 minutes away. So now I just start going over them. Veterans Beach, Citizen K. I know Get Back Goldie. I know Immortalization. I know Just in Time for Wine, Winning Factor, Venezuelan Triumph, Fatima's Blessing. So the 2 I don't know are the 3 in the case. The 8 is Cabinet Pick, and the 3 is Copa d'Oro, Cabinet Pick, Copa d'Oro, Paddock, Cabinet Pick, Copa d'Oro, Winning Factor, Citizen K, Veterans Beach, Fatima's Blessing, Get Back Goldie, Immortalization, Just in Time for Wine. Got it.
There you go.
That's how I do it. Some things like Winning Factor is a gray horse. That's nice because there's certain colors like purple silks, gray horses, certain identifiers that are easier than others. But then there's like a million silks that are blue silks, and there's like times where there are 4 horses in a race with blue silks. So. And then there are times where I look for the cap. So, like, if there's 2 guys with Rapoli silks on, I'm hoping one of them has a blue and one of them has an orange. And then if they both have an orange or they both have a blue, then I got to find another way to identify those horses. So, blinkers, color. And this job is about being a master in disguise sometimes. If you make a mistake, just keep going.
Yeah.
Oh, and rule number 1. Well, rule number 1 in race calling is being accurate. Rule number 2, don't panic.
Rule number 3, don't cuss.
Don't cuss. Is rule number 3. Have a filter.
Yeah, right.
/ don't cuss.
Yeah.
So now I'm going to look over them one more time. So you've got Veterans Beach, Cabinet Pick, Citizen K, Copa d'Oro. So like numbers 2 and 3 in this race. Citizen K has a black cap, white silks, and it's good because Copa d'Oro has white silks, white caps. So the 2 caps I can distinguish. And Fatima's Blessing, Get Back Goldie, Winning Factor, Immortalization, Venezuelan Triumph. And then I look over the names just to make sure, like, there was this one story I heard about this. I heard this one story about the race caller at Portland Meadows. And the intern there in the press box gave him the next day's program with the same amount of horses. So he called a race like on a Tuesday, and it was actually Wednesday's horses.
Oh my gosh.
On it for the first race. And they're like, have you had a few to drink? And he's like, what are you talking about?
Are those the nightmares that you have?
Those are I've had nightmares of like getting locked out of the booth and them running the race. I've had a couple of them. So let's have some fun, shall we?
Yeah.
And the runners are now loading into the gate. Veterans Beach has gone in. Citizen K has taken his spot. Fatima's Blessing. Cabinet Pick. Copa d'Oro. Winning Factor. Immortalization goes in. Venezuelan Triumph. One back. Just in time for wine. Here's just in time for wine. Go again. We're ready to go. And fire off. Level beginning for all the runners. Veterans Beach gets the first call, just in time for wine, per usual, flashing that front running speed. And from the far outside post, he grabs the lead, clears off. Fast tempo here, set by just in time for wine, who gets to the fence. From the far outside, and approaches the turn clearly ahead. The margin's about 2 lengths going into the turn. Immortalization running in the second position, get back over to the inside. That line of 3 runners, Fatim's Blessing, winning factor, and Veterans Beach to the inside. Venezuelan Triumph running in midfield today is about 7 lengths off the lead, approaching the backstretch run. Hopeful de Oro Cabinet pick next in the field, and his face is 2 to the trailing Citizen K as they head down the backstretch. Just in time for wine, cruising on a 2-length cushion as everything is on the way today, no excuses as they're halfway home. Immortalization right behind chasing second. Winning factor's gotten closer now all the way to chase second, approaching the 4-turn run. Fatim's Blessing on the outside, he's 4 lengths off the lead, approaching the turn. Veterans Beach has asked for more. Get back Goldie has lost significant ground, is plummeting towards the back of the field. Needs to absolutely turn it around. Copa de Oro just passed him, but he's under a hard ride, gets to the outside 5 behind. Just in time for wine, off the turn, still clear. Kicks away to a 3-length lead, just in time for wine. A wall of horses chasing, Fatima's Blessing. Immortalization is there, winning factor, just in time for wine. A length and a half in front, he needs the line, he's getting tired. Fatima's Blessing taking one last dive. Here it is, just in time for wine, held on. Just in time for wine, all the way. Fatima's Blessing second home, and then Citizen K from far out of it snatches third. Blanket photo for fourth. And there you go.
There you go. Good job.
Nice.
Absolutely. Good stuff.
That
Their ability to remember names like that is stunning. I mean, that's a...
I appreciate it.
No, I'm sure it's part of the gig, but man,
Yeah.
that's awesome.
Yeah.
Hearing you assign them before the race, too, was cool. Appreciate it.
Oh yeah. It's just so much. I just love what I'm doing. You know.
I mean, you're getting paid to watch horse races.
I get paid to watch races, and I took this job because when I was a kid, I loved being on track watching races, and the announcer helped make my experience better. So I was like, why don't I have a job where I can make the experience, or at least help make the experience better, you know, for other people. So, number 4, just in time for wine was first, 9 Fatim's Blessing second, 2 Citizen K third. Photo finish for 40. Please continue to stand by. Yeah, so the reason I took this job is because I love being on track. The announcer really helped make my experience better and helped really just enjoy the races a little more and gave it a little extra zip, and I just thought that'd be really cool to be able to do that myself for other people.
Who was calling a Del Mar when you were growing up?
Trevor Denman, who is a mentor of mine. Yes, so like his big thing, like they don't call fractions, or he doesn't call fractions. Yeah. I don't call fractions because I agree with him. I think if you can say like down the backstretch, like he's got everything his own way and something like that, I think that's more useful than, well, the opening quarter was 47-3.
And you were right, by the way.
23
and 2 for the first quarter, and you said it's quick pace, and it was, right? I mean, for this kind of race,
for this kind of racetrack. Yeah, if I'm saying the half and 47-1, that could mean different things for different surfaces. And if you go 22 the first quarter and then you slow it down and go 47 and change, you're actually not going very fast because you slowed it down in the second quarter. So I think it's more important to note that than just numbers. And not to knock too much our industry, but our timing system in America isn't perfect either, you know. Now entering at the winner's circle, just in time for wine. Of course, hold on. Probably it. Matt Dinerman.
Hi, we have a dead heat for 5th on the 512.
Is it 5th or 4th?
5th.
5th, okay.
Yes, we got 14,923.
Okay.
Dead heat 512.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And that's not part of the wagering, so
Oh.
I'm not going to note it anyway. But they have to call in. And the winner's circle, just in time for wine. Just in time for wine is a 7-year-old chestnut gelding by Justin Phillip out of Bucella by Corinthian. Just in time for wine was bred in New York by Windy Leaf Farm, New York LLC. Now owned by Carroll Star Stables, trained by Jose Delgado. Fernando Jara, working jockey. Running fourth was number 3, Coco de Oro. 14-923. 14-923. Your top 4. Please continue to stand by until the race is declared official.
Kind of run me through your career. How'd you get started in this industry of calling races?
So I grew up in San Diego, born and raised in San Diego, California, and exit south of Del Mar is where I grew up. So I was quickly enamored with the track when my dad took me to the races. Just fell in love with everything: the horses, the pageantry, the roar of the crowd, the excitement of the races, and I just wanted to learn more. So when I was 15, my first job was walking hots for John Sadler. Did it for 4 straight summers. Loved it. Loved working with the horses, and really found a new appreciation for the horses, and also all of the men and women that work with the horses, and all of the different people that have roles in this business to make the show go and make sure that our horses are well taken care of as well. So, and that's sort of where things began to work in the business, and I wanted to be an announcer at some point, and I got binoculars from my aunt and uncle for the holiday season one year, and when I worked in the press box at Del Mar, I would practice calling races in one of their empty booths. They have a bunch of booths in the press box there, and I would go into one and practice calling races. So I was always really interested in the announcer. I would ask my dad, how do they know the names and the lengths? And eventually I realized that the announcer really helped enhance my experience. So I figured, wouldn't it be great? I love going on track to watch the races. Wouldn't it be great if I could help enhance the experience for other people?
Where did you call your first race, and how did you get here to Monmouth? Kind of run me through that.
So I called my first race at Emerald Downs in Auburn, Washington. It's a crazy story. I applied for the job thinking I had no shot to get it before I had graduated college, and I was calling races at Santa Anita on the roof, practicing there. I applied for the job towards the end of my senior season. I went to Chapman University, which is about an hour from Santa Anita and Orange. Got a call from the management, figured it was a rejection, and it wasn't. They said, we'd like you to come up, fly up tomorrow morning, and call a couple races for us. So I was scared to death, flew on a plane by myself for the first time. I'd always flown with people, but this was the first time I was on a plane by myself. Flew up to Washington State, called 2 races, and the next day, to my astonishment, on Mother's Day, I was hired, sort of, because I still had to graduate my classes. So when they offered me the job, I said, well, I can't accept it quite yet because I haven't graduated my classes, but if I can pass all my finals, then I want to be here. So told all my professors, I know I have good grades, but I got a dream job right out of this, so please pass me. Passed my classes, moved up to Emerald, shadowed Robert Geller, who is a legend of an announcer at Emerald Downs, and now he's at Woodbine, but called it Shotton. He's a great guy, great announcer, and that's where the dream began. And after a couple years, Golden Gate Fields opened up. I was the paddock analyst there for a year already, and they offered me a full-time position there. And once, unfortunately, Golden Gate Fields was announced to shut down, I applied for Monmouth Park, interviewed, was very lucky to get the job there, and I've fallen in love with Oaklawn. And then in the middle of the season at Oaklawn, I got a call from Monmouth, and they said, we need a new announcer, and we would love you to be our next guy, which is an honor. So to be at Oaklawn and Monmouth, it's a dream come true, and I'm really happy.
Kind of tell me about you have your duck collection over here. Just kind of tell me a little bit about your booth.
So both booths I'm in at Oaklawn and Monmouth are really nice booths. They have good sight lines. This is a very spacious booth here at Monmouth. It feels like there's so much rich history in here because this has been the booth where every announcer is occupied. It hasn't changed much, probably, with the exception of the refrigerator and maybe the couch since 1940-something.
Is that a good couch there, Louis?
Fantastic couch.
It's a very comfy couch. I've never taken a nap on it, but a lot of people give it good reviews, including Louis, so well done. I gotta get like a guest book for the couch. Whoever sits on the couch gets to sign the guest book.
I would have bought
Oaklawn.
one. I could have been the first name.
Yeah, you could have been the first name. We got to find it. Actually, I have a book in the bag, so stay tuned for that if you ever come up here. But it's a really nice booth here at Monmouth. The sight lines are great, and I like that the window's open here, and it's easier to call with the windows open because you feel like you're in the crowd calling the race, and you feel the excitement. And I think it makes for a better call, a more exciting call, and a fun race. Oaklawn is a little bit more of a modern booth. Lovely booth. They actually updated it a couple years ago. It used to be just like a phone booth, a really small booth, and a couple years ago they expanded it, and it's got a couch, a little more modern couch, nice desk, computer, some TVs. It seems like every booth I've been in, we've got 3 or 4 TVs, which is really nice. You can watch all sorts of sports action and racing action. But these ducks here, what they are, I went bowling at Emerald Downs with some friends, and they had a machine where you could pick a duck if you gave $1 to it, just like a claw.
Yeah.
And every time I went bowling, I'd pick some ducks. A guy who was giving me a ride to the bowling alley one day had a few of those ducks on his dashboard. Not a Jeep, but it was a Volkswagen. I said, "Why do you have those ducks on your dashboard?" "Well, I get them at the bowling alley." So I started doing it. I had about 20 of them. And I said, "What am I going to do with these 20 ducks sitting in my house? I'm, 23 years old. What are we doing here?" So I put them in the booth, took a picture of them, posted them on social media. Now fans from all over the world send me ducks. I've gotten ducks from Las Vegas, New York, New Orleans, overseas, France, Ireland. I got a Spain duck about a month or 2 ago. So it just is a reminder, A, that the racing community is a small-knit, tight community, smaller than we think, in a way. It's a small world. And also, B, it reminds me that people are paying attention and you want to do a good job. I always say, don't take myself too seriously, but take the job seriously because you want to do a good job calling races.
What does it mean to you that there's so many people in this industry that appreciate you specifically doing this job, that they want to send you something?
It means a lot to me because I put my heart and soul into it, but more importantly, it means that people feel positive energy and excitement from my work and what I've been able to put out there, which is really gratifying and really a lovely thing. And I feel like there's a special connection. Whenever somebody sends me a duck, I feel like that duck connects me to them. And these ducks connect me to the fans, whether I've met them in person or not, heard from them online or not. I get ducks sent in the mail from people that I've never spoken to, don't have social media. It means a lot. And I'm just really happy that people feel positivity because my whole goal is to be positive and have a fun time and share that fun time with everybody else. So it means a lot, and it means a lot that people are positively affected by it.
Kind of run me through your setup here. Kind of what do you got going on?
So I handicap the races usually a day in advance. Depending on what I have to do, if I have to make picks on air or not, I tend to handicap the same way all the time, regardless if I have to make picks. Even if I don't on air, I make a pick for fun. But some of this stuff, they're just notes, like 3 next out winners out of this race. When I circle things and square things, basically that's either notes that I want to look back on and I'll understand what it is because I'll remember it, or it's just me looking at something and it's circling to say, hey, I've looked at it already. So even though there's a lot of stuff going on here, it doesn't necessarily mean that I'm taking every single one of these things into consideration other than I've looked at it. I tend to write a lot on the PPs here, and I think that this is a really good tool to help memorize. I don't memorize until they come on the track, and you can hear that in terms of the silks, but our brains are amazing. Memory is amazing, how much memory we have when you think about it as humans. And I think just looking and handicapping, it puts the horses originally in your head, and they're there, and then you sort of put it all together when they're on the post parade. As I gotta go on here. So yeah, we got the 4th race coming up. And the runners are now making their way onto the track for race number 4, the Steve Clementi Memorial Race. 3-year-olds and upward New Jersey breds going 6 furlongs. Track number 5 Wild Mule. Take the rider on number 6 Hello Paco Lopez. In the 4th race today, we have Win-Play Show, Exacta, Trifecta, Superfecta wagering, Daily Double, Pick 3 wagering as well. 5 minutes until race number 4. So, and then what I'll do also when I'm looking over these notes is if I see a name I don't know, I'll look it up on Google. A couple different sites. Might call the trainer, might call the owner. For example, Door Knock and the Haskell. there's a town overseas, and it's pronounced Dornick, but all the owners call the horse Dornock. So because the owners call the horse Dornock, I'm going to call the horse Dornock. And usually how it works is whatever the connections call the horse is what I'm going to gravitate towards. Even if maybe a correct pronunciation of the word is somewhere else, whatever the owners want it to be, then I want to call it that. Matt Dinerman.
The 6 will be late to the fact that he's getting a shoe repair.
Thank you very much. And also, part of this job is answering the phones, being the messenger to the public of what's going on. So please note, ladies and gentlemen, number 6, Hello Pop, getting a shoe repair in the paddock, will be laid out onto the track and should be out short. Here's the field for race number 4. Number 1, Optical Bizu. Samuel Marin, the rider today. Number 2 is Joe Boy's Jedi. Nick Warren in the saddle. Number 3, Bingo's Boy, Eddie Over, the rider. Number 4, Electric Eel, Ira Rendon to the side. Number 5 is Scratch. Number 6 is Hello Papa, leading out of the track with Paco Lopez. In the paddock, getting a shoe repair. Number 7, running right by you, Louis Saez has them out for the first time. Number 8 is Alpha Company with Melissa Iorio. Number 9, Dr. Doyle, Jomar Torres, the rider. And number 10, Lemon Creek Louis, Sammy Camacho has the race. 3 minutes to post, 3 minutes until race 4. So we do the post parade. Now I'm going to look them over. I'm looking at what the jockeys are wearing, silks wise. So Lemon Creek Louis is right there. The 10 is Dr. Doyle, Alpha Company. 7 running right by you. Bingo's Boy is the 3. There he is. 4 is Electric Eel. And Bingo's Boy and Electric Eel sort of have the same silks. Electric Eel with a blue cap, Bingo's Boy with a black cap. So that helps. And there is on the rail, so we don't know that one right away. That's Optical Bizu. And then the 10 is Electric Eel. Optical Bizu. Running right by you. Bingo's Boy. Alpha Company. Dr. Doyle. There you go. So I just looked them over, and now I like to let it marinate in my head a little bit. I actually get off of them even if I don't know every single one right away, because it'll take a couple minutes, I go back on, and it'll actually sink in a little more. So that's how it works for me. Dr. Doyle, Lemon Creek Louis, Dr. Doyle, Alpha Company, running right by you. Electric Eel, Bingo's Boy, and Optical Bizu. And the runners have now reached the starting gate. We're ready to go. And we're up. Optical Bizu was off slowly from the inside post, then ducked in and was coming out of the chute. So Optical Bizu is well behind after that. Alpha Company has early speed. Dr. Doyle is there as well. Dr. Doyle to the front. Alpha Company takes the whole ball running second. Electric Eel joins Anna Deep Lemon Creek Louis now. The favorite running right by you. Got him tight behind horses off. It feels like it's steady. He's now racing a joint 5th. He's outside of Bingo's Boy. The gap is 4 lengths back to the trailer, Optical Bizu, as they sail into the forward turn. Lemon Creek Louis making a move to come and challenge Dr. Doyle on the front end, and they open up 3 lengths. Electric Eel under pressure in the 3rd position with Alpha Company. Bingo's Boy is next. Running right by you, the favorite drops to the back of the pack and is losing position. It was not his day today. Off the turn, Alpha Company on the outside making a strong bid to challenge the front runners now, and Alpha Company goes to the front. Alpha Company furlong to go. The one to reel in on the far outside. Optical Bizu is coming from 4 out of it, and he's got a chance. It's still Alpha Company from Optical Bizu, and that's how they'll finish. It is Alpha Company to score. Optical Bizu, good effort in 2nd. And then came Electric Eel and Dr. Doyle. There you go. I wouldn't have had that one. That's why I do not bet the races I call 99.9% of the time, because I don't want to be biased going to race. I don't want to be like, oh, geez, I just lost my pick 5. You know?
You do handicap them so that if a big upset happens, that you can reflect that in your call?
Of course. Yes. Yes. And depending on the mood, I might be like, holy smokes. Or if it's like Darren Go beating Cigar, it's like, oh no. You know? Photo fitted. But not really.
Well, thank you for letting us tag along with you today, Matt.
Oh yeah, thanks for coming up. Thank you for coming up, and it's been a pleasure.
Awesome.
I gotta get a picture of this.